What's up guys, it's Eric here again from Rotor Village, and today we're going to take a look at the SmolYeet, sometimes referred to as the Baby Yeet, or the Mini Mule, or the Yeet Mini, so call it whatever you want. Officially it's going to be called the SmolYeet, and it is available in a 3-inch version, and also a 4 to 5-inch version. So a similar idea as the Yeet Mule, where I'd probably aim this at 4-inch props, but it's perfectly capable of running 5-inch props as well, if that's what you choose to do. So basically the design concept behind this frame was fitting a Vista in it, keeping it lightweight, and having it easy to build, fly well. Yeah, basically a good Vista carrying small frame. It's running the same TPU parts as the Yeet Mule, the Big Yeet, the Creamer 2, all the same there, identical. So you can plug and play any of your other components over to this. And as you can see, the main plate there kind of looks like Swiss cheese, which gives you a ton of mounting options. So you have 16x16, 20x20, and an all-in-one layout. And the all-in-one you can actually lay out the all-in-one in the traditional layout like that, or you can rotate it 45 degrees so it's oriented like a 20x20 normally would, if that makes sense. Yeah, this is currently running 4-inch props, this configuration, but we'll come back to this. We'll just go over the frame itself. So yeah, the same standard mounting pattern as the other RVS line, so you can plug and play mounts from your Yeet Mule or Creamer 2 to this one, no problem. It's all the same. So there's the SMO mount that you can run with any of these, all the Hero cameras. You can run just like a GoPro style adapter. Treat it as like a cinema quad, whatever floats your boat. And there's a press nut installed in the top plate for the rear one there as well. Yeah, it's one-piece arms, so it's not 4 individual arms. It's a boomerang arm in the rear and then similar-ish in the front. Yeah, access holes to your all-in-one plate there, and then there's some cutouts for wire pass-through as well. Mortal T in the front here with a bit of a notch there to run the cable properly. Also, this cutout here in the bottom allows your camera to sit just a little bit lower, which allows for the really slim 20mm stack height, which just gets your CG a little bit lower to closer to the prop line, which gives you some better flight characteristics. And yeah, the only difference from the 3-inch version to the 4/5-inch version is the arms. So the top plate, the mid plate, and the bottom plate are all identical. TPU parts are all identical. Just the arms that are getting swapped out there. So it's 4mm thick arms, and the rest of the carbon is all 2mm. It's durable. The 3-inch is definitely like, it'll take an absolute beating without any issues. The 4/5-inch, you know, as long as you're not throwing too much weight on there, you won't have issues either. Yeah, there's a ton of different ways you can configure it to however you like. There is straps included, 2 of these with each kit. And what I found in the testing is that this strap works for both the 3-inch and the 4-inch version. You just run it a different way. So, and some of you, it kind of depends on what battery you're running as well. The 1150 or 1150C from GNB. I've really been liking that one with my 4-inch setup. Seems like a very good weight balance, and given the overall weight with the disc loading of the 4-inch props, it has very much of that 5-inch feel in the air. It feels really good to freestyle and rip around. Very good handling as well. Anyway, the straps, what I actually did there is I ran it just up through the slot in the frame, or here. I'll just show you on one of these. So basically, just ran it up through the frame until it's tight, and basically it's actually just hanging on from the buckle not being able to pass through there. Then I go over my battery, down through here, and up over the top. So that works really well for this size of battery. Now some of you are going to be like, I don't like that buckle there, and fair enough. It doesn't interfere with your props or anything like that. It doesn't look how we normally expect the battery straps to look. You can just run the normal straps, and these are also longer too, so if you do want to run a bigger battery, which I don't recommend because that'll just have more weight than what it's really intended for, and can potentially break arms easier. But yeah, if you want, or if you just want to run a bigger, wider strap, you can totally do that. What you do then is you just run it under the top plate itself, and there is some notches there in the top plate to kind of hold it in place. And then yeah, you can run one front and back, and that will definitely hold those little batteries in place. For the 3-inch version, I was running it on a 4S 650. There's different ways you could run that as well. You could run it on 3S or whatever you want. I wouldn't really recommend 6S, but I know a lot of people seem to like that. But for that, you don't need to run the battery this route, as those batteries are a little bit smaller. So there you can just run it in the traditional sense. Do it the standard route, and it's all good. And again, you have front and back there, so that's definitely going to hold it in place really securely. Yeah, I think that's everything for just the frame itself. Let's weigh these right away. Hopefully you can see that number there. So the 3-inch, and that's with all the TPU and all metal hardware. You could grab some titanium hardware and lighten it up a decent amount actually. The titanium hardware is just fairly expensive, so if you want to go that way. But yeah, what's included in the kit is the metal hardware, which is obviously heavier, and the extra strength isn't needed for the 3-inch. So yeah, we're coming in at 58.3 grams, which is not light for a 3-inch frame, but yeah, it will be very durable, and it's, you know, intended of carrying the Vista, which always is going to add a little bit of weight to the frame. So yeah, that was the 3-inch version, and the 4/5-inch version. Again, this is with all the TPU and with metal hardware. That one is coming in at 65.3 grams. And even on this one, you shouldn't run into any issues if you were to swap to titanium hardware, and you can definitely shave off several grams there without any issue at all. So yeah, what's included in the kit, again, you'll get 2 of these straps. Which reminds me, so if you are wanting to run this style, like, just make sure you pick them up separately, because the larger ones are not included. And then also, what's included in the kit, I guess we can get the scale out of the way now, which this is going to be really handy. And again, you have Joshua Bardwell to thank for this one. You're going to have your M2 mounting screws. I didn't need to take a handful to show you that, but yeah, so these are for your motor mounts, and it's just nicely to the right length for that. So yeah, the motor screws are going to be included in all the kits as well. Again, this is the 4/5-inch version I'm running here. Vista in the back and all-in-one up front. You could run the all-in-one oriented 45 degrees over, or you could run a 16x16 or 20x20. Whatever you want. Is fairly versatile on how you can have it set up. Yeah, there's zip tie mounts in the frame, so like my capacitors, nice and secure here. For this one, I went with 2004 motors, which I've really been liking with the 4-inch setup. Again, the power to weight ratio feels pretty good, pretty natural. Has that similar 5-inch type feel to it. I can run this on 5-inch props, no problem as well. It does have a lot more weighty, feels more floaty in the air with 5-inch, so for freestyle, I don't really prefer that. A 4-inch feels a lot more natural for freestyle, but if I was doing like longer range flights or had maybe a little bit more weight on the quad, then yeah, the 5-inch would be a good option as well. And again, you can just swap the props and run it whichever way you prefer. So if I was wanting to do some longer flight times, I could just slap 5-inch on here and it's good to go, even with these 2004s. I wouldn't go too much smaller in the motor size for 4-inch though. Under an 18 size would be a no-go in my opinion. But again, it's FPV, so there's tons of preference included. I did run the LED race wire in the back just because to get the spacing proper to allow for the Vista, the front flight controller is further forward and not all of the motor manufacturers have enough wire length. So just take note of that if all of a sudden you're needing to add some wire length there. This is a good way of doing it. Add some color. It's easy enough to do. You can easily swap motors in the future then. For the 4-inch to 5-inch version, I would recommend battery of roughly this weight. Don't know that weight off the top of my head actually. So I would probably run anywhere from a 4S 850, a little further, so that's a 91 gram battery. But yeah, 4S 850 to 4S 1100 is about right. There is a little bit more space on the top plate if you wanted to run a slightly larger battery. 4S 1300 would work. That is getting a smidge on the heavy side for what this is intended, but it works. For the 3-inch version, 4S 650. 4S 650 is a good one to go there. But again, there's options on what you want to do there. You can run it a few different ways. You could go up to an 850 as well, get some longer flight times. Yeah, these handle really, really well in the air. It is that dead cat layout, but it's kind of been tweaked to not have nearly as much of that dead cat feel as what we've been accustomed to in the past. Betaflight is handling it pretty dang good, or Emu Flight, or whatever you want to run. So yeah, that is the RVS SmolYeet, and yeah, I hope you like the frame, guys. If there's any questions, drop them in the comments and I will try to answer that for you. And have a good one.